Hello students, welcome back to YSR Academy. In this final module of human health and disease, we are now talking about the very important part which is called as adolescence. Students यहाँ से ऐसे कोई ऐसा conceptual understanding के point of view से कुछ important ऐसा नहीं है, but yes, definitely from awareness point of view, from social point of view and from general knowledge point of view, this topic becomes utmost important as far as the chapter is concerned. And now let's talk about the concept of adolescence. Now students, adolescence exactly का exact मतलब है क्या? Adolescence is nothing but कि for example, it is a period of beginning with appearance of secondary sexual characters and the termination with cessation of somatic or body growth, which means कि जहाँ पे एक male or female has certain kinds of secondary sexual changes in the body. Adolescence can also be regarded as a transitional stage of physical and mental development of a child occurring between puberty and a legal adulthood between 10 to 19 years of age, which means कि एक ऐसा transition हो रहा है कि जहाँ पे एक छोटा सा baby एक transition हो रहा है adulthood में, which can range from an age of 10 years to 19 years. Adolescence is a phase rather than a fixed time period in the life of an individual. So overall अपन अगर देखेंगे तो एक टाइप का एक छोटा सा फेज होता है इंडिविजुअल के बीच में, जहां पे एक पर्सन, इट कैन बी अ मेल और अ फीमेल, वुड एक्सपीरियंस सर्टेन चेंजेस इन द बॉडी with regards to the chemical and with regards to also physical nature. Adolescence is a phase of development on many fronts such as sexual and reproductive maturity, mental development, adult identity, transition from socio-economic and emotional dependence to relative independence. So overall अगर आप देखेंगे तो individual becomes more or less independent. अब तक वो पेरेंट्स पे डिपेंडेंट था अपने सिचुएशंस को मैनेज करने, हैंडल करने, अभी धीरे धीरे क्या हो गया कि वो धीरे धीरे इंडिपेंडेंट बन गया है, अपनी चीजें खुद ही खुद मैनेज करने के लिए सीख रहा है. स्टेजेस कौन से हो सकते हैं गाइस एडोलेसेंस के? Adolescence is defined as an individuals of 10 to 19 years of age group. The government of India in its national youth policy defines adolescence as 13 to 19 years of age. ठीक है, so this is what it is. Now इसको आप अलग अलग स्टेजेस में डिवाइड कर सकते हो, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट कैन बी एन अर्ली स्टेज, मिडिल स्टेज एंड अ लेट स्टेज. अर्ली स्टेज फ्रॉम 10 to 14 years, जहां पे चेंजेस क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? Beginning of appearance of the secondary sexual characters, growth reaches to its peak, rapid physical growth, concrete thinking, defining boundaries of dependence and independence. यहाँ पे बच्चा जो रहता है वो खुद का खुद independent nature develop करना चालू करता है. सेल्फ एक्सप्लोरेशन है, डेवलपिंग द बॉडी इमेज, खुद के बॉडी के लेकर कॉन्शियस होने लगता है. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंटेंस फ्रेंडशिप, अलग अलग टाइप के फ्रेंडशिप्स में इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है. सीकिंग टू काउंटर इंस्टेबिलिटी इन इवैल्यूएशन. सो मतलब ओवरऑल बच्चा बहुत सारे सिचुएशंस को जो कि एक्चुअल रियल लाइफ सिचुएशंस होती हैं उसको धीरे धीरे फेस करने लगता है, और ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वो धीरे 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 इसी फेज के थ्रू मैच्योर भी होता है. Now middle stage, which is 15 to 17 years of age, जहां पे almost complete development of secondary sexual characters. Physical growth slows down, approximately 95% of the adult stature is attained. कि आप adult जो होते हो approximately 17 years तक completely हो जाते हो 95% तक. Thinking becomes more abstract, very concrete thinking under very stressful conditions. You are no more a child, you start to think in an adult like fashion. Capability for long range thinking, re-establishing of body image, you try to become very very conscious about yourself, about your body. Then sense of leadership and powerfulness, preoccupied with romantic fantasies, attraction towards opposite sex. So due to the certain chemicals आपके body में जो changes आने वाले हैं, ये changes की वजह से you can have certain kinds of romantic sexual desires, romantic fantasies, and wanting to build relationships with opposite sex. Establishing peer group, defining the behavioral code. So आप आपका ग्रुप बनाने लगते हो, फ्रेंड्स बनाने लगते हो, फ्रेंडशिप्स होते हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें इस फेज में आपको देखने को मिलती है. Late stage, which is 18 to 19 years of age students, characterized by establishment of total physical maturity, complete physical maturity है, abstract thinking है, intellectual and functional identity आपको आ गया है, सोच पाते हो अच्छे से. Peer group proceeds in the favor of individual relationships. ओवरऑल धीरे धीरे जैसे आप बड़े बनते हो, जो आपका 200 जन का जो झुंड है पूरा ग्रुप का, वो ओवरऑल करते 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 लिमिटेड फ्रेंड्स तक आ जाता है. स्टेबल रिलेशनशिप एंड चेंज फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड टू अडल्टहुड. सो ओवरऑल रिलेशनशिप काफी स्टेबल होता है, और एक जो बच्चा वाला फेज होता है वो चेंज होकर अभी अडल्ट में आप ट्रांजिशन हो गए हो. फिजिकल चेंजेस बॉयज के अंदर क्या आ सकते हैं? मस्कुलर डेवलपमेंट, डेफिनेटली. Skin becomes oily, okay. Broadening of shoulders, shoulders can become broad. वॉइस का क्रैक होना, बोल्ड वॉइस आएगा, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अंडर आर्म, चेस्ट हेयर, प्यूबिक हेयर एंड फेशियल हेयर, enlargement of penis and testis as well. Girls में development of breast, okay, widening of hip, development of underarms and pubic hair, and enlargement of the uterus and the ovaries. Okay, sexual development, sexual organs can mature and enlarge, sexual desires, erection of penis in boys, sperm production, ejaculation, ovulation, menstruation and initiation of sexual behavior. ये सारे sexual changes आपको एक मेल या फीमेल के अंदर देखने को मिलते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अगर बाई चांस अगर हम देखें इमोशनल एंड सोशल चेंजेस क्या है, तो एस्टैब्लिशिंग द ओन आइडेंटिटी, खुद का इंप्रेशन क्रिएट करने का जो आपके अंदर का इच्छा, वो एक सोशल आइडेंटिटी होता है. फैंटेसी, डे ड्रीमिंग, अटेंशन सीकिंग बिहेवियर, इमोशनल इंस्टेबिलिटी आएगा बिकॉज बहुत सारे थॉट्स आपके दिमाग में चलते रहेंगे, पढ़ाई को लेकर, रिलेशनशिप को लेकर, फ्रेंडशिप को लेकर, बाहर की चीजों को लेकर, तो सब बहुत सारे चेंजेस आपके बॉडी में आपको देखने को मिल सकते हैं. Full of energy, sexual attraction, rapid mood changes, conflicts with the family, behavioral code, self-exploration and evaluation, and with respect to formation of new relationships and peer pressure. Okay, mental health in adolescence, agar bhi is dauran, there's also one important thing that we should talk about is nothing but the mental health. Now students, what is exactly mental health? Mental health is emotional and social changes which occurs during the adolescence, can have a huge implication on your mental health, na? ठीक है, जो भी चेंजेस आपके बॉडी में महसूस हो रहे हैं डे बाय डे, फिजिकल चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, इमोशनल चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, साइकोलॉजिकल चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, आपके दिमागी तौर से वो चीजें बहुत आपको अफेक्ट करती हैं. ठीक है, मेनी मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज दैट अडल्ट फेस बिगिन टू अपीयर ड्यूरिंग द एडोलेसेंस. Implications for mental health during adolescence can include confusion, irritation, moodiness, frustration, nausea. Nausea is like feeling of vomiting, reduced concentration, hyperactivity, anger, effects on lifestyle like obesity, addiction. Obesity is motapa. Obesity हो सकता है, addictions, accidents leading to ill health. Okay, poor eating habits, poor health hygienes, poor hygienic approach towards yourself, and all of these things. Mental illness during adolescence can manifest as different forms of depression, including insomnia. Insomnia where you're not able to sleep properly at night, and loss of energy. Mental illness is associated with psychological or behavioral manifestations broadly classified as psychosis or neurosis. So अगर by chance आप कोई एक चीज को लेकर इतना इन्फ्लो हो गए तो आपके मेंटल हेल्थ पे वो चीज इफेक्ट करने धीरे धीरे लगने वाली है, और अगर मेंटल हेल्थ पे इफेक्ट करने लगी तो इट कैन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम डेवलप इनटू समथिंग कॉल्ड एज साइकोसिस और न्यूरोसिस. साइकोसिस क्या होता है? इंक्लूड्स डिल्यूजन्स, कंफ्यूजन्स, हैलुसिनेशंस, भ्रम जिसको बोलते हो आप, disturbances in thinking process, can lead to conditions like Alzheimer's disease, schizophrenia, depressive psychosis, amnesia, bulimia, anxiety, anorexia nervosa, depression. All of these terms are related to something called as mental health. And this mental health becomes one of the most important factors in the life of a person who is just entered the adulthood. See, we being adults, the people who are adult, who know how to manage the situations, are no more prey to these problems. Why so? Because they already know how to manage, how to contemplate the situation, how you deal with the situation is already known to them. But when we talk about persons or people who have just entered the adulthood, it becomes very difficult for them to just overwhelmingly different kinds of situations which come in. And in order to ensure that these people manage their stress well, it's important for counseling, it's important for empathy, it's important for understanding. But if at all any kind of a person, any individual who finds itself a prey in certain kinds of situations like these might end up into multiple problems like mentioned here. It can be anxiety, it can be depression, it can be any kind of mental problems. And ये सारे mental problems सबको याद रखने से जरूरी नहीं है. Nervosa क्या हो सकता है? Behavioral disorders. It can be adolescence which is characterized by cognitive, emotional, behavioral, physical and attitudinal changes. These changes may lead to positive personality development. It can be influenced by relationship with parents or conflict with others. ठीक है, adolescents often view their friends and peer group as more important and influential than their parents. This is the most important. Parents से ज़्यादा दोस्त important. This is one of the factors which students fall in for prey. This can lead to various kinds of addictions such as smoking and drug use. So multiple चीजें ऐसी हो सकती हैं जहाँ पे एक individual can fall into smoking, can fall into drinking alcohol, can fall and prey for different kinds of bad habits, which either ways should be controlled at the first sight, but only and only when the parents know about it. But for a student or for a person like a male or a female, their best friends or their girlfriends or boyfriends are more important than the parents, and that is where the problem comes in. इसकी वजह से अलग अलग टाइप की implications, consequences या फिर manifestations इसके हो सकते हैं. Treatment for this disorders can be preferably non-pharmacological approaches, which means not giving medicines, but psychological counseling. The World Health Organization recommends evidence-based guidelines and the mental health gap action program for addressing mental health issues in adolescents. ठीक है. Addiction, a complex condition characterized by compulsive substance use despite of harmful consequence. पता है ये चीज बुरी है फिर भी कंज्यूम करना एडिक्शन है. It can involve the use of substances, drugs like alcohol, opioids, cocaine, nicotine, or behaviors such as gambling. ठीक है. Addictive behaviors share key neurobiological features involving brain pathways for reward and reinforcement, affecting motivation, related neurotransmitter dopamine. So क्या होता है कि एक बार पसंद आया तो आपका ब्रेन और डिमांड करेगा, नेक्स्ट टाइम आप और कंज्यूम करेंगे, ब्रेन और ज्यादा डिमांड करेगा. दिस साइकिल विल गो ऑन, इट फॉर्म्स अ पॉजिटिव स्पाइरल. इनिशियली वो एक एवलांच इफेक्ट आता है, वो कि स्नोबॉल इफेक्ट आता है. चीजें स्टार्ट तो छोटे से ही होती है, बट ओवर अ टाइम वो काफी इतनी ज्यादा रैपिडली चेंज हो जाती है कि आपको समझ में ही नहीं आता कि मैं कब एडिक्ट हो गया और मेरी हेल्थ मैंने कब खराब कर ली. ठीक है. Neurological changes due to addiction are reversible after substance use or behavior is discontinued. अगर आपने वो चीज टाइम पे छोड़ दी तो डेफिनेटली आप उससे रिवर्स हो पाओगे और आप कंप्लीटली ठीक हो जाओगे. Results in impairment of physical, physiological and psychological functions of the body as well. ठीक है. Causes of substance abuse, insufficient parental supervision, अगर पेरेंट्स का ध्यान नहीं है तो, lack of communication between children and parents, poorly defined rules, students, people, individuals don't know where the limits are, family conflicts, घर में झगड़े, favorable parental attitude towards alcohol and drug use, अगर चलता है attitude चलता है तो फिर बहुत कुछ चलता है. Expectations from drug use, risk taking behavior, which is again one of the major factors for people to fall in for these kind of addictions. ठीक है. Then उसके बाद methods and measures, how do we go for it? So you can have prevention which is better than cure, of course. Avoid undue pressure, बच्चों से, friends से, बेस्ट फ्रेंड से, क्लोज फ्रेंड से, दूर के फ्रेंड से, कहीं से भी किसी से भी कोई भी टाइप का प्रेशर आप झेलना नहीं है, खास करके ऐसी बुरी आदतों के लिए जो कि बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लमैटिक आपके लिए ही हो सकता है. एडुकेट, काउंसल चिल्ड्रन टू फेस प्रॉब्लम्स एंड स्ट्रेस, एक्सेप्ट डिसअपॉइंटमेंट्स एंड फेलियर्स एज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, चैनलाइज देयर एनर्जी इनटू स्पोर्ट्स, studies and other constructive activities. This is something very, very important for us to understand. Drug abuse can be, surveys and statistics indicate that increase in the use of drugs and alcohol, especially among the youth. This is a significant cause for concern due to potential harmful effects. Preventive measures, proper education and guidelines are crucial to help youth safeguard themselves against these dangerous behavioral patterns and adopt a healthy lifestyle. ठीक है. इसमें पूरा एज यू कैन सी इट्स जनरल नॉलेज कंप्लीटली. सो सबसे पहला कॉमनली अब्यूज्ड ड्रग्स आर ओपियोइड्स. दे बाइंड टू द ओपियोइड रिसेप्टर्स present in the central nervous system and the gastrointestinal tract. Gastrointestinal tract is the GIT, which is stomach or intestine, and CNS is your brain and spinal cord. Heroin, which is chemically called as diacetyl morphine, is a common opioid. कहाँ से निकालते हो? एक प्लांट है जिसका नाम है Papaver somniferum. ठीक है. हेरोइन इज अ डिप्रेसेंट एंड इट कैन स्लो यू डाउन. काम करता है, डिप्रेशन देता है, एकदम आपके सेंसेस को रिलैक्स कर देता है कंप्लीटली. Second class of drug is called as cannabinoids, which interacts with the receptors present in the brain. Inhalation and ingestion of these substances affects the CVS, cardiovascular system, which is your heart. Obtained from inflorescence and the part of cannabis sativa. This is a plant, cannabis sativa. Various forms of drugs obtained from cannabis sativa include marijuana, hashish, charas and ganja. ये सारे चीजें काफी illegal है and should not be used at all, but काफी ज्यादा abuse इसका किया जाता है. Third class is what is called as cocaine. It's an alkaloid obtained from a plant called as Erythroxylum coca. Increases the level of neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine बढ़ गया, extreme happiness आएगा, irritability आएगा, paranoia आएगा, confusion आएगा, क्या करूं क्या नहीं, extreme happy for no reasons, God knows what is happening and all of that. ठीक है, hallucinogens which are mind expanding. hallucinogens मतलब डे ड्रीमिंग, दिन में सपने देखना, बिन मतलब के कुछ भी सोचना, भ्रम होना, ऐसे एहसास होना कि सामने कुछ है मगर कुछ नहीं होता, all are hallucinations. Two best examples, lysergic acid and cannabis are examples of hallucinogenic substances obtained from plants such as Atropa belladonna and datura have hallucinogenic properties. ठीक है, they can have unreal perceptions of unreal objects due to disorders of the nervous system. ठीक है, perceived benefits of drugs. Drugs are often used repeatedly for perceived benefits. Perceived मतलब assumed. However, people often fail to realize the inherent addictive nature of alcohol and drugs. So ये addiction इतना ज्यादा हो जाता है कि आप उसको control कर ही नहीं पाते. Addiction is a psychological attachment to certain effects of drugs, alcohol, such as euphoria and temporary feeling of well-being. These effects drive people to continue using drugs and alcohol even when they are not needed. जब जरूरत नहीं, देखो जरूरत तो कभी नहीं होती, बट अगर बाय चांस कोई उसके अंदर है, अभी कोई पर्पस नहीं है उसको कंज्यूम करने का, फिर भी वो लोग कंज्यूम करे जा रहे हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट मेक्स नो सेंस, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच इट बिकम्स सेल्फ डिस्ट्रक्टिव. You understand? With repeated drug use and tolerance level of the receptors in the body increases, receptors respond only to higher doses of drugs to alcohol, leading to greater intake and addiction. एक बार आपने छोटा सा वॉल्यूम कंज्यूम किया, आपका ब्रेन उसको रिस्पॉन्ड ही नहीं करेगा. अभी क्या हो जाएगा, अभी ब्रेन क्या करेगा, और चाहिए, तो कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बढ़ा दिया. थर्ड टाइम और कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बढ़ेगा, फोर्थ टाइम और कॉन्सेंट्रेशन बढ़ेगा. ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ये कॉन्सेंट्रेशन का स्केल इतना ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा कि आप सोच भी नहीं पाओगे, एंड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम you will not even know when things have went wrong, and that is how things are working here. Okay, key points for addiction. It's important to note that even using these drugs, one can lead to addiction. Without guidance or counseling, a person can become addicted and dependent. Dependence is a tendency of a body to manifest a characteristic and unpleasant withdrawal syndrome when the regular dose of drugs or alcohol is abruptly discontinued. अचानक से बंद नहीं करना है, नहीं तो you'll have something called as withdrawal syndrome, which is again a problem. Withdrawal symptoms may include anxiety, trembling, कांपना, shivering, nausea, sweating, which can be relieved when drug use is resumed. तो इस चीज को ठीक करने के लिए आप ड्रग वापस लेते हो. इसकी वजह से इसका मेथड्स होता है, टेक्निक होता है, जिसके कारण आप धीरे 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 इस चीज को सॉल्व या मैनेज कर सकते हो. Effects of drug and alcohol abuse. Immediate adverse effect manifest in the form of reckless behavior, vandalism, violence, gussa, aggressiveness. Excessive drug dose can lead to coma, death due to respiratory failure, heart failure, or even brain damages. Combining drugs with alcohol often results with overdose and even death. What else do you want? The only baddest effect that you can have, the worst effect that you can have is death. And that is why we should be away from all of these things. And it's better that we stay away, better that we understand the fact that this is not making you, it is only and only breaking you. And why do you want to fall for something which is going to take away your life? Do you even see one benefit out of it? I don't see any. So why do you see any kind of benefits here? And it's better that we understand this hard time, that drugs, any kind of drug abuse, any kind of drugs which doesn't make any kind of positive changes, no drug which we have mentioned and talked about makes any kind of positive changes in your life. It just simply makes your life hell. And why do you want to do it then? And that is why staying away is the only best solution for this. How much ever you feel tempted about it, how much ever peer pressure you get, how much ever you feel to have it, it's better that you stay away, because that's the only solution to stay away, to keep out of that loop. Okay? So common warning signs कि भाई आप ड्रग अब्यूज के शिकार हो गए हैं. Academic performance में गिरावट, unexplained absence from school or college, lack of interest in personal hygiene, withdrawal, isolation, depression and fatigue, aggressive and rebellious behavior, deteriorating relationships with family and friends, loss of interest in hobbies, changes in sleeping and eating habits, fluctuations in weight and appetite. Okay, far-reaching implications of drugs can may lead to abusers turn into crime, which they can't get money for drugs and alcohol. Drug alcohol addiction can cause mental and financial distress to entire family. Now, how are these effects mattering to you? The intravenous drug users are likely to acquire serious infections like HIV and hepatitis B. Alcohol use during adolescence may lead to long-term effects like loss of balance. Then you have liver cirrhosis. Liver cirrhosis means infection. Pancreatitis means pancreas ka inflammation. Chronic use of drugs and alcohol damages the nervous system and liver. Drug and alcohol use during pregnancy adversely affects the fetus. Misuse in sports. Some athletes misuse drug to enhance the performance, including narcotic analgesics, anabolic steroids, diuretic, and certain hormones. Side effects of anabolic steroids in females include masculinization. Well, female will start to develop characters like male, increased aggressiveness, mood swings, depression, abnormal menstrual cycle, excessive hair growth, and more. In males, it can include acne, increased aggressiveness, mood swings, depression, testicular size reduction, which is called as testicular atrophy, decreased sperm production, kidney and liver dysfunction, breast enlargement, premature baldness, enlargement of prostate gland, etc. These effects may be permanent with prolonged use. Why do you want to do these things? Okay, इस चीजों से जितना आप दूर रहेंगे उतना ही better. Prevention. Age-old saying that prevention is better than cure holds true. Habits such as smoking, taking drugs or alcohol are more likely to be taken up at young age, especially during adolescence. So एक बार maturity आया ना फिर आप इसमें पढ़ोगे नहीं. Maturity नहीं है इसकी वजह से इसमें पढ़ रहे हो. बात समझ रहे हो? तो risk situations को identify कैसे करेंगे? It is crucial to identify the situations that push an adolescent towards the use of drugs. Timely identification allows for effective preventive measures. Parental and teacher responsibility. Parents and teachers have a special responsibility in preventing and controlling addiction among adolescents. They play a vital role in educating and guiding young individuals away from such harmful behavior. Teachers का जिम्मेदारी है, पेरेंट्स का जिम्मेदारी है, जो ये बता सकते हैं बच्चों को कि भाई क्या आपके लिए अच्छा है और क्या आपके लिए बुरा है. और इसी चीज को लेकर ये अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना आपके अंदर भी बहुत जरूरी है कि भाई ये क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्यों हमारे लिए ये डैमेजिंग है और हमारे बॉडी पे इसका क्या क्या असर पड़ सकता है. आपको काफी जनरल नॉलेज लगा रहेगा, काफी डिटेल्ड चीजें हैं, बट यस इट इज जनरल नॉलेज. सोशल अवेयरनेस, कॉग्निटिव थिंकिंग, आपको सोचना जरूरी है ये चीज कि ऐसा क्यों आपके लिए नुकसान कर रहा है. With this we finish the chapter of human health and disease, guys. In the next upcoming lectures we are starting with a new chapter which is biotechnology, and biotechnology will be again a very short and simple chapter, 2 modules, and we are done with that also. So I hope ये chapter समझा होगा. तीन separate lectures में इसको मैंने place कर दिया है. तीनों की तीनों lectures आप देख लीजिए एक बार अच्छे से. कुछ डाउट रहेगा तो definitely बताइए. I'll be very very happy to solve them. अगर आपके पास कोई कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक है, कुछ फीडबैक है, कुछ कमेंट्स है, प्लीज कमेंट सेक्शन में आप कमेंट करिए, हम लोग उसको डेफिनेटली रिप्लाई करेंगे. विद दिस स्टूडेंट्स विल एंड द चैप्टर हियर एंड एंड द मॉड्यूल हियर. I know this is a very short module, but I wanted to keep it very separate from other modules. तीनों के तीनों modules, तीनों के तीनों lecture sets are important for you for your exam and board exam and CET. I hope you visit them, understand them, make your note for yourself. And अगर कुछ doubt रहेगा तो definitely I know, I'm very sure that you'll get in touch with us. Okay students, I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care, stay safe and bye.